I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Still, back off of vacation. Spent a couple days along the Outer Banks. I was out there to see the waterspout that made its way inland, also for the quote-unquote sharks that were not sharks, that were actually dolphins. But enough about my vacation. Let's get back to the grindstone here. And while I was gone, we have not one but two tropical systems to talk about, neither of which are going to have a great impact on us here in eastern Carolina. What we are setting up for, though, is a pretty wet week for us here. Look for not a complete washout, but plenty of chances for rain just about every single day this week, as we haven't really changed our air mass. We still remain in this very moist tropical air mass, and as a result, that's going to get the fuel going. Now, it is very tropical feeling out there. Dew points are in the 70s, high precipitable waters, all that together, meaning that any of these storms could have some heavy downpours associated with them. As I mentioned, not one but two storms that we are tracking in the tropics right now, Ernesto and Florence, neither of which are going to be threatening us right now, although Florence, I'm going to keep an eye on, and we'll talk about that coming our way in a few minutes here. As a result of the potential for showers and thunderstorms scattered about, we do continue to keep our Storm Track 12 threat tracker in the medium category for the next several days. Any storm that develops, it's going to be heavy downpours, potentially some damaging wind gusts, maybe some small hail that could be with these storms. These are going to be what we call pulse storms. During the heat of the day, they quickly pulse up, and with 15, 20 minutes, they kind of rain themselves out. Now, the other thing I want to alert you to is the potential. If over the next couple days we get storms going over the same area, and it would not surprise me, any spot could see potentially 2, 3, 4, 5 inches of rainfall by the time we hit the end of the week, that we could be dealing with some urban flooding issues. So that is something we'll also continue to alert you to here. Had a beautiful sunrise this morning, but now the clouds have started bubbling up already. This is what the time lapse of the sunrise looked like coming in out of Oriental early this morning. Those showers and thunderstorms will continue to bubble up for the next several days here. Today, more sunshine around than what we're going to be seeing the next couple days, and a little bit more coverage of storms, though, than what we saw yesterday. Upper 80s and near that 90-degree mark for highs today. Scattered showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder, not completely out of the question as we head overnight tonight. Another warm, muggy night, and then through the day tomorrow, I'll call it partly sunny and more cloud cover around, but I think we'll see some peaks of sunshine from time to time. And again, some of those storms will be scattered about, more numerous tomorrow, some of which could have some heavy downpours, potentially some damaging wind gusts. We're starting off this morning with plenty of sunshine around, but as we track a little bit further to the north, here's our cold front coming through West Virginia, Western Virginia, and this is responsible for the death that we saw last night up at the Poconos Racecourse there in central Pennsylvania, or northeastern Pennsylvania, as a result of the lightning strike that killed one and wounded another 9. Also numerous wind and hail damage reports in and around southern Pennsylvania and also into Maryland. Now, this is what we're going to be tracking, though, as we go a little bit closer to home, is going to be this front coming inland here. And as it does, showers and thunderstorms are going to be potentially developing for us here, any of which could have some heavy downpours and damaging wind gusts with them. Notice Future Track shows a little bit of action along the sea breeze front this morning, and then as we head through later this afternoon, kind of two areas, mainly from Kenansville to Edenton and through Greenville. Showers and storms there ahead of the front, and the other action along the sea breeze front. And there could be spots in between that don't see anything at all, not completely out of the question. Spotty storms, again, possible overnight tonight for your commute tomorrow morning. And notice that front sags a little bit further to the south in here as we head through the day tomorrow. Better chance of showers and thunderstorms scattered about, more coverage of them, heavier downpours, more training even potentially of the storms themselves. So as a result, that's where I'm starting to get concerned about the potential is going to be there for damaging wind gusts and also some urban flooding with these storms, one right after another, dumping 2, 3, 4 inches of rain in a quick amount of period of time. We'll still continue to keep the showers and storms scattered about even as we head through the day on Wednesday. So you don't need a tropical system to have tropical downpours, but as I said, we've got not one but two systems that we are tracking. The first one, the strongest, is Ernesto. As of this morning at 8 o'clock, wind speeds of 50 miles an hour, headed its way towards the Yucatan Peninsula, and this is going to be the main system that we're going to be tracking as we go on through the next several days. Notice Future Track here shows us by late tomorrow night going into the early morning hours on Wednesday, making landfall near the Yucatan, then quickly getting across that by Thursday, potentially re-strengthening into a hurricane before it heads into deep south Mexico. Not even going to be anywhere near the U.S.-Mexican border, so we're not really worried about that. And the other storm system. This is now Tropical Depression Florence. You can see on the satellite picture here, Ernesto looks pretty good. Florence, not all that good. And here's part of the reason why. It has really ingested a lot of dry Saharan air. This is what we have talked about all summer as far as the tropical setup was concerned. In the deep tropical Atlantic, notice how the convection just kind of dissipates. It gets into that dry air, ingests it, and just chokes it out. Now termed as a tropical depression, and within a day or two, the circulation for this might not even be trackable except at the mid-levels. And that's what I am concerned about here, that as we go on through the next several days, that mid-level center is going to be able to be tracked and at least make a run towards the east coast of the United States. Now, in what form, that's going to have to be determined. And here's part of what we're talking about. That dry Saharan dust, anything you see here in orange and yellow, that is that dry dust being pulled off of the African continent. And again, you can kind of see here that once this gets into there, it literally just zaps all the convection away from it. So again, I am concerned that the mid-level center is going to be a trackable entity that if it does get close to the United States, could be something we'll have to worry about. Now, here's the reason why. Let's take a look at the jet stream level here. What we're basically looking at is the weakness in the ridges. We've got one ridge off the Atlantic coast, another one back over to the Central Plains and Rockies. This general trough across the east here, but again, not enough to really force a cold front through the area here. And you'll notice as we go on through this week how the ridges try to reestablish themselves, and then they kind of, get beaten down a little bit here as this next vortex comes through the general mean trough here in the eastern United States. But here's the upper level ridge just sitting out here as the western one goes back out into the western Rockies. And as a result, anything that potentially could be coming up close to the east coast late this weekend going into early next week, it is going to be looking for the connection with the trough, which is definitely going to be the mean trough here in the eastern United States. Another spoke of vorticity rotating through it. Mean upper level ridge over the Rockies. The other one, notice how this corridor kind of opens here across the southeast coast of the United States. So if that mid-level center can survive, at least it will have a doorway towards the east coast of the United States. Again, not saying it's going to be able to survive all the way through, not saying it's going to be anything more than a couple clusters of thunderstorms, but it is something that concerns me because the window does open and the potential for development, at least conditions are a little bit more favorable as we get closer to this upcoming weekend along the southeast coast of the United States if there is a wave there. So that is something we're going to continue to track. And then you will notice that even as we head in through the weekend, we're going to keep the mean trough across the eastern portion of the United States, keeping things a little on the cooler side. For us here in eastern Carolina, that means chance for showers and thunderstorms every day this week. More so tomorrow, and especially south of the Kinston-New-Bern Oriental line as we head into Wednesday. Then that next vorticity map swings on through for Thursday, Friday, and going into the first part of Saturday. Again, I'm not saying we're going to get a visit from Florence, but if it holds together and there's any entity there, it potentially could regenerate itself, and at least the window is open there along the southeast coast of the United States. So we'll continue to track that and keep you alerted. I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Still.